Hello, welcome back to Grow New Plants. I know it's been a while since I've done any of the greenhouse videos, but like I said earlier in some of my videos, I had to send my camera off to get it repaired. I've got it back now, so I'm working on the bows. As you can see, I've already got one bow stuck in here. I wanted to test out my pipe bender that I have just to make sure that it works and I could do it, and everything worked out, and it worked out pretty good. The bows ended up being a little narrower than what they're supposed to, so it's pulling the hip boards in just a little bit, but that's not going to hurt anything. So I got one bow up, so I'm going to go take you out into the driveway, and then I'll show you how I bend the bows. I'm just going to do one bow on video. They're a lot harder than what I expected them to be, but that's okay. I just have to do 5 of them, so I'll get them done. So we'll go out and I'll show you how I do one bow, and then I'll get the rest of the bows done, and then we'll come back and we'll start installing the bows onto the greenhouse. Okay, so this is my pipe bender. Basically, you stick your pipe in through right here, and then you just pull it around and bend it, and you keep feeding your pipe through till you get all the way around. And this pipe bender is designed to take it's supposed to take a 21-foot section of 1 3/8 fence top rail and bend it into a 12-foot bow. And like I said, I bent the first one and ended up being a little narrower, but that's not that big of a deal. As long as they're consistent, it'll be fine. So I took this, and I originally put it on this board and parked my truck on top of it. Thought that'd be enough to hold it down, but it wasn't. So I ended up just drilling like about 2 concrete anchors. I just anchored it into the driveway. So when I get done, I'll pull them back out, and I don't think anyone will ever notice the holes in the driveway. But it's solid now. So I got the bender bolted down to a board, and then the concrete anchors down into the driveway to hold it steady. So I will get a piece of pipe, and I'll show you how I measure the pipe off, and then we'll start bending it. Okay, so per the manufacturer, you take, to get the 12-foot bows out of this, you take the first 13 inches off the end, each end of the pipe. So I'm gonna mark 13 inches off each end, and that's where I'll start my bend at. So I can go ahead and stick the pipe in here. So I put that mark right there, so that part doesn't get bent, it stays straight, and that's what goes down into the side rails. So I start bending, and then I'm going to kind of just move my camera around and show you this. Since this thing is the height of a 2x6, I have some other 2x6s just positioned around on the driveway to lay my pipe on, and that helps keep the pipe from getting whomper jaw. It basically keeps the pipe level the whole time, so the bow is bent straight. So I'm going to just put the camera back, and I'll probably time lapse this, because it actually takes me quite a while. It probably took me a good 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so I have all my bows bent and ready to go now. I've already decided that I'm going to go 7 inches of each. The 7 inches of the end of each bow is going to go down into a side post or end post. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, I'm going to mark all my posts at 7 inches, and then we'll start sticking them into the rails. I've got all my ends marked 7 inches, so I'm ready to start sticking them into the side post. Basically, it'd be a lot easier if I had 2 people, but right now I don't, so I'm just going to kind of manhandle it in there. I put this first one up, so it wasn't too bad. So I'll go ahead and just kind of show you how I managed to get these things in here. So I have that one in there. Once I get the first one in, the second one goes in a little bit easier. And then it's just a matter of getting them in where I can get them down. And I'm getting them close to the 7-inch mark on each side. And then I'll come back when I'm ready to put the Tech screws. First I'm going to put Tech screws in, then I'm going to run bolts through these 2. So I'm going to get them all in here first, and then I'll come back and I'll put the Tech screws. That way if I have to make any adjustments, I can. Okay, so now I'm going to come in and I'm going to adjust my mark to my 7 inches, and I'm going to put a Tech screw here and here. And the Tech screw is just a 1-inch long self-tapping screw, and it's kind of a booger. I went to look, I couldn't find a tap. I was hoping I had a tap, not a tap, but a center punch, where I could come in there and center punch this thing. This one's really loose. I'm gonna have to hold that one in place as I drill it. Some of these are pretty stiff, some of them aren't, just depending on how they bent, I guess. So I'm gonna come in. These self-tapping screws are kind of a booger getting started on a round surface, but it can be done. Once you get the divot, it's all right. So that's to get my mark, my 7-inch mark lined up there. That one was a booger. They're not normally that hard, but okay. So I'll get another screw. I got my 7-inch mark here. Yeah. And then I'm going to come back in just below, right here, and do the same thing. All right, so it's put in. We'll go in and do the other side. There we go, 7-inch mark right there. So we're ready to put screws in this one. All right, so I'll go ahead and we'll fast forward through. I'll go in and do the rest of these real quick, and we'll be ready to run bolts through the side, and our bows will be done. Okay, so the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to run these bolts through here, and I already drilled one out just to see how it went. And these things do not drill good because it's drilling through several different pieces of metal, and it wants to bind your drill bit up. I'm guessing I'll probably go through a couple drill bits on this, and I originally was going to put one here and one here, but I put that one in over there just to test one to see how it worked, and that's going to be more than enough to hold this thing in with these 2 Tech screws and that 1 bolt. So I'm just going to go with that 1 bolt through there. Okay, that one went a little easier than the first one did. Okay, so, and all I have here, I just took a, this is a 5/16, oh gosh, 2.5 I think. So I'm putting a washer on that side. Put another washer here, and then a lock washer. And my nut. And as I tighten this, it starts pulling that post in a little bit. Now, I don't know that it has to be pulled in all the way. As long as it's snug, it's not going to go anywhere. And my main reason for this, again, for the code guy, is that he wants to make sure that a big gust of wind can't lift any of this stuff and separate it. So these posts are anchored in the ground, and I'm going to put some duckbill anchors in to hold it down where it can't come out of the ground. And then this is going to keep this, the top part, from ever separating from this part. So that ought to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these off camera. And that's pretty much it for this part of the video. Okay, so I've got all my bows put up. I got all my bolts put in, screws, tech screws into the bows, so everything's secured down, so it's ready for bracing now. So that's going to be the next video, is I'm going to install the bracing, and I'm going to put a ridge pole on it, and then I'm going to put some wind bracing on the sides. I may end up doing some additional bracing. I don't really know yet. I'm going to get those braces up, see how stable it feels. If I feel that it needs more bracing, I have some other things that I can add to it to help secure it up even more. And then after that, I'll be ready to put my end walls on, which that'll really secure it up too. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, and then hit the little bell notification. That way you'll get notified when I put new videos out. So when the next video with the bracing comes out, you'll get a notification for it. I appreciate you watching. Please like, please subscribe, please share my videos. Thank you.